All right, how do we end the show? How do we end a show? How does anyone ever end a show? I've never learned.
How about one of your Andy Rooney moments where you just break it down? You kind of.
All right, give me a thing that I should decry.
Box wine.
Why is wine always coming in boxes? No one knows who Andy Rooney is. Thank you, son. Thank you.
Do your Rachel Maddow.
Yeah. Give us a Rachel Maddow, Keith Olbermann fucking breakdown.
How do we feel about Keith Olbermann? Does anybody? Because I feel like he's not as popular as he should be. Like I love that he's sitting in a basement, just fucking calling out, and just going holy shit. Does he hit his wife or something? What? Why is it that everyone's not like Keith Olbermann is my jam? What is it like?
I'm never gonna forgive you for sports.
Was that what? Really?
No. He was a sportscaster for a little while.
Yeah, so what?
Nerds don't appreciate that shit.
But he defected. He defected. That's part of why
That's not cool.
Because I looked at his Wikipedia, I was expecting to see he, I don't know, something that was that dirtied him just enough that he's just sitting alone going
Didn't he get fired from MSNBC?
Yeah, he got fired for something. I forget what it was.
Didn't. But the reason he got fired, or he got suspended, because he donated while he was working on his thing. He donated $2,400 to each of 3 Democratic parties.
Oh, that's lame.
And then it was a technical infraction, so he took a suspension, and then after the suspension, they just didn't renegotiate his contract, and nobody really knows. This is all in Wikipedia. I went there to going I fully expected to hear that he hit a kid with his car or something.
So his major failure is that he's not an intelligent lesbian. I think that's really what he's lacking.
What do you mean by that? You're just saying he lost
Rachel Maddow.
You're saying he's lost to Rachel Maddow.
There can only be one.
Right.
True. And Rachel Maddow's is doing
he
it.
just didn't
her brand is strong.
She just does awesome stand up. Her whole show is
she slays.
She looks at the camera and just does extended stand up bits.
I adore her. I have room in my life for both of them. I'm not bragging when I say that. I just I didn't see them as I have to watch one or the other. And he looks like Sam the Eagle. So I would think that he would have a hardcore demographic that would be I'm ashamed enough of my straight white male alpha beta-ness that I want to be ashamed of it, but at the same time he's just this he cuts that silhouette, and so it's you have permission to like him because he's going I don't know, he's I love Keith Olbermann, which he's sitting in a basement somewhere doing webisodes for GQ, and he's he just does these webisodes, and he's just this hyper verbose, hyperbolic, he's the sky is falling, and he ends every podcast by going resist, and he holds up a Spock sign, and it's peace, and he's and his Twitter avatar is him wrapped in a flag like Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York, and it's he's lost his mind, but in a good way, because in a mad world only the mad are sane. I just fucking want to marry him. Do you like him?
He should do a show with Sam the Eagle, I think.
Why don't you like Keith Olbermann?
I think he comes off as kind of a blowhard, maybe. That's my guess.
I only trust him and you. So when I got in the car and I said, "What do you think of Keith Olbermann?" and you're like, "He's fine." And I was I'm not going to ask anything else because I didn't want my heart broken.
No, he's fine.
Because if you told me he was, I would be now what do I do? I wouldn't know what to do.